Hello. I am sorting butter, guys. Wait for Nikki to come on. That's okay. So, thank you, Nikki. Right now, I'm just going to ask that you guys let me vent in today's live and not come to me with any problems right now. We're still recovering from almost losing Ellie on Sunday. It was pretty scary, wasn't it, buddy? It was very scary. You guys have like no idea how scary it was. No, please don't do that, buddy. That messes up the computer. The day started out great. We left here. I know, right? The sky is falling. We left my house about somewhere around of course I'm buffering. All right. Do you all follow me on Instagram? I'm about ready to go live there instead. But all right. It started out great. Got there, walked on the ocean for a little bit. Ellie had a fucking blast. Let me tell you, she had a blast when we got there. She just pranced around and ooh, like for a half hour. And so she didn't walk, she pranced. Hey, I'm here. It was really cute. Oh, okay. Well, I'll stay here. So it was really cute. So then we went to Long Sands Beach, which is in York, Maine. And then I don't like going to that beach. I like being where all the shops are. This one's over where all the campgrounds and stuff are. It's about a mile-long beach or whatever. That's why it's called Long Sands. So we went over to Short Sands, where the best taffy in the world is made. No lie. We could see how it does here. So we went over to Short Sands and had to wait for restaurants and stuff to open so we could go eat. Well, 2 years ago, we went to this restaurant called Malio's. And they were really good. I mean, they knew that the service dog laws and everything, and they understood, and they allowed Ellie in and everything. Well, this year, for some reason, they didn't. And I didn't know until we went over next door to them and found out that they were new owners, just kept the name. New owners, new staff, kept the name. So that would explain it. I'll have to fix that Kayla. I've been really busy with my nephew and sleeping and being sick and then going to Maine and everything else. So we went into the restaurant. Effing A. Yes, Ellie is okay now. It's okay. Ellie's okay now. I'm explaining the public access issue that we had first. I'm going to do the looks that they were giving me. They're like, oh, she's a service dog. And they're like, yeah, we know, but we need to see her papers. You legally, I said to her, just like this, you legally can't ask that. It's illegal to ask that question. And she goes, actually, it's not. I need to see her papers. I'm like, there are no papers for service dogs. Yes, there is. No, there's not. And I tried educating them. I said, legally, it's illegal for you to ask that. You're only allowed to ask 2 questions. And that is she a service dog? And what task does she perform? You're not allowed to ask for any documentation whatsoever. And they were being really rude and giving me really nasty looks and labeled, had a harness on her or a vest on her. I go, actually, I don't have to have her labeled in any way, shape, or form. But just so you know, she is labeled. She has a harness on. Our Walmart is really good. Hold up. Hello? Yes. Hello. All right. Thank you. All right. Bye. So I'm like, I said, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to sit here and have rude staff and rude customers berate me. We're going. Man, the only one here being rude is you. I go, no, I'm not. I go, you're disobeying the law. Right. So we go out, and there was a lady next door at the restaurant next door sitting outside, bringing people in for their staff. And she's like, are you guys okay? I go, no, I'm very upset. And they're having an issue with Ellie. And they're like, oh, we love service dogs. You can come right on in. I'm like, are you sure? She goes, absolutely. She's a service dog, right? I said, yes. She's like, okay. On in. I have a service dog coming in. No problems. Okay? And everybody was just all smiles. It was great. The staff was fantastic. They asked if they could give her a piece of bacon, and I'm like, yes, of course. Like, they were so good. And I explained what happened next door, and they were like, yeah, they have new staff. And to be honest, their food was disgusting anyway, so you didn't miss anything. And I'm like, oh, okay. Shame. Burn. But so after we ate, I felt like maybe they thought I was being rude. You know, the other place, Malio's, felt I was being rude because I talk loud, but I'm going deaf in both of my ears. Yes, I'm going to talk loud. And if you've ever encountered someone that doesn't have hearing aids, that don't need them yet, that's going deaf, they talk loud. And when you upset somebody, they talk loud. A little while ago, and she goes, yes, I remember. I'm like, okay, well, I wanted to say, I'm sorry if I sounded rude. I wasn't trying to. I am going deaf in both of my ears, and I tend to talk really loud. And she's like, okay. Like, the looks I'm giving is what she's doing, okay? And I'm like, well, I wanted to explain to you that you cannot ask somebody for documentation. It is against the law to ask for documentations for service dog. She goes, actually, my family member has a service dog, and they have their registration for that service dog, and they bring that registration everywhere. So yes, they can ask you. I go, actually, no, you can't. Look on ada.gov in the search engine, look up service animals, and look at what you can and cannot do. And I remembered I found my card in my wallet, so I handed her. And she was just getting all snooty. I'm like, well, you know what? Educate yourself on service dog laws, because your family member may have a real service dog, but having registration for that said service dog, the only people that have registration for service dogs, real service dogs, are the ones that go through, I couldn't figure out what it was. I was like, the training facilities. And all that is the training facility saying, yes, they trained this dog to be a service dog. That doesn't mean it's a service dog. That means they just trained it, and they give you the certification papers saying that, yes, they trained it. Yes, it passed the training, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily a service dog. I go, the only people that can really tell you if you can have a service dog or not is your doctor or therapist. Just because you have issues does not mean you can have a service dog. Because everybody in the world would be having a service dog. They tried. Make sure that you get it, say a service dog would work. So, she was just being real snotty. I said, you know what? I hope you educate yourself. But don't forget that I warned you. And you'll be very sorry when you get sued. And I walked out. That was it. It stressed me out for a good quarter of the day. Well, the kids went and played on the beach, and then we decided that we were going to go for a walk from Short Sands up to Nubble Lighthouse. Nubble Lighthouse is the most photographed lighthouse in the world. And so we walked up there. When I was healthy, we were able to get there in like 10, 15 minutes. I didn't realize how much of a trek it was. It was a long trek. And it was kind of warm. It wasn't too warm. The pavement wasn't too hot. We were only up there like 20 minutes, and we were coming back. And on the way back, Ellie just went downhill. No. Yes, she was wearing socks. My Mickey Mouse socks that I made for her, so she wouldn't burn her feet. Okay. Hi, Ava. So we stopped, we gave her water, and even when we were at Nubble, we gave her water. We made sure that she was constantly hydrated. She couldn't drink that water down fast enough. And we saw someone on their porch, and we asked them if they would be able to fill up our bottle for us. And they did, and we had to do it twice. And we were dumping it on her. We were having her drink it, and she just was panting. So we made it back to the car. We got her in the car, and I turned the air conditioner on and just let it full blast on her. And she got to where okay, and we all wanted to go to the zoo, and I knew most of the zoo was in the shade, so I figured she'd be okay. So I was at the zoo a total of 15 minutes. I'm like, no, I have to bring her back to the car. I let them stay at the zoo to finish out what they were doing. And I told them to go and pick out the taffy. I normally pick it out, but I had them go pick out the taffy. because we never leave there without Taffy. But anyway, Ellie was bad. It was to the point where she just didn't want to lift her head, nothing. She just didn't want to move. I had to help her drink water. I honestly thought I was losing my dog. I thought I was watching her die. It was so scary. You have no idea. It was so scary. I texted my daughter. I'm like, we got to go. We got to go now. We have to get her home immediately. We had cold water. We had the water dumping. We were dumping water on her neck and her face and stuff on the way home. And I called the vet and I explained to them what was going on. And they were like, all right, put her in a tepid bath. I'm like, well, we're 3.5 hours out from home, so we can't give her a bath, but we are giving her cool water. We have the air blowing on her. The car is really cold. And so she's like, you're doing everything right. Just if she seems like she's getting worse, make sure you get her to the emergency clinic. And I'm like, absolutely. So about 4 hours in, about 3.5 hours into our trip, so it would have been about 2 hours before we got home, she started doing a lot better. She was able to go to the bathroom. She was able to trot and run, being a little heavy here and there. So we're keeping her in the house, no outside time. So it's been a rough couple of days. It was very scary. I almost am contemplating on just retiring her, but I'm going to let her make that call. So, but my daughter's here. She needs to talk to me, so I'm going to have to let you guys go. I will talk to you all later. I will try and do a live again. Thank you all for coming to watch, but my daughter needs me. So peace out. Peace, love, and happiness to all.